How's Jason?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Small Business Support Group.
Good afternoon, mate. Good afternoon.
Is it afternoon? I don't know. I don't know where I am because I'm on my phone. But this is just an upgrade to the software that we now can use and do it all from a phone, which is great.
Very good.
So I'm just reboot my computer. So, Grant, what do you want to talk about? You're going to talk about pubs and restaurants. So that's what we're doing.
I think we should jump in with pubs and restaurants because I'm starting to get excited now. We are literally days away, and I'm super excited.
Okay, excellent. Because I was going to talk. I'm talking about pubs and restaurants as well, and I was talking about the apps because the main pub groups, haven't got apps on side yet. It's not ready. And you went, oh well, we're designing the apps. Obviously, you are. So we'll be doing that as well. As soon as the Mac starts up, because I can't bring in a third screen on my system here. Don't worry though, we'll be there. Darren's with us live from Bude indoors, obviously, which is great. It's always good. And what was that letter you were showing us earlier?
So basically it's an email post. So every pub down here at the moment is sending out exactly the same thing, and it's their rules of engagement basically from Saturday. So literally on Facebook, every pub, and it's all very similar. So the second one was a little bit more, or the first one that I sent you was a little bit more tough. You know, any misbehaviour and you'll go out as quick as you came in. But the first one was more about just how stringent the rules are for every pub, and every pub down there has sent out the same Facebook message of, you know, you'll be booking your table. There'll be no more than 6 on the table. You'll be asked to fill in your template for that check, your coronavirus check screening, and that you've got 1.5 to 2 hours. And even one of them said, if you don't have the ability to drink a fair few beverages in 1.5 hours, then please leave the table for somebody who can, because we need to earn money. So
a joke? That wasn't a joke.
Well,
that was a joke that was going around.
No, that was actually on one of these posts. So I think they're saying it lightheartedly, but the reality is when you go into a pub, the first couple of drinks go down and you get a thirst, don't you? And it's a social thing, a pub is. And so to sit there at a table and drink, I think they're going to struggle to turn around the amount of beer to make it profitable. You know, how many drinks do people do in an hour and a half? The first hour and a half slow, and then you go a bit mental.
That's quite true. So, I mean, how many pubs have you got in Bude? I'm just looking at myself on screen.
I think there's about 6. I think there's 5 or 6 in Bude. Yeah, so a fair few in a small area. So that's scary.
It is, isn't it? True, mate. Let me just remove that one. Oh, here we go. There we go. It's still frozen on me there, isn't it? No, it's perfect. No, I'm still stuck on
technical issues.
Down this. Somebody else talk.
Oh no, there's a slight delay with this all now.
Is that?
What is it's?
Oh yeah, he's gone. Oh dear. just to let everybody know, Matt's had a few technical issues this morning with his laptop playing up. So we just saw him on his phone, and he's trying to get his laptop going again because the demo that we wanted to do today requires him to be on his laptop. So hence he's trying hard to get back in again. But subject today is pubs anyway, isn't it? And it's a subject close to our hearts.
Yes, very much so.
3 days to go. So what are your plans, guys, in terms of, are you going to be visiting the pubs this weekend?
No.
You're not?
No. The appeal's just not there for me. I go into a pub to socialise, and I'm a social animal, so I can go to a pub on my own happily and chat to the next person at the bar. To go and sit at a table and organise that isn't the way I use pubs. That will work for the tourists. I think the tourists will come down and want to sit in a pub, but unless you go in somewhere that's got an outstanding view or something else, I don't know. A pub is about being social, and sitting constrained at a table, not being able to move, is not my idea of fun, unfortunately. Sad, but it's a start. Let's just see it as
what
a
about
start.
restaurants? What about restaurants, Darren? Have you got any plans for that?
Again, I know that not just because of my brother, but because I've got a disabled son, I've been really over the top about people handling my food. So even takeaways, I've not had a takeaway because if I'm going to go to the point of that I am, where shopping comes in, it's all cleaned down, it's some of it's quarantined in the garage for a few days and things like that, then to then say I'm going to have a Chinese and someone's made that food and yeah, it's a tiny percentage chance, I know, of anything being on the packaging or then sneezing into my food or whatever. It's not where I'm at the moment, and I know that everybody's in a different part of their journey dealing with COVID, but it's not what for me. It's not, but the appetite is definitely there. I can definitely see people running to these places. I really do. So the restaurant side, I think, will do better. And I've noticed that all the pubs that are advertising that aren't normally food pubs down here are putting on some food of some form because they know if you're sitting at a table, then you want to eat food. So,
Yeah.
And profitability. So it's a start. I think it's the right thing to do. I think it's a good start. I just don't know how they're going to make it profitable. I feel for them. It's really tough.
What about you, Andy? Have you got any plans?
No, I'm not going to a pub this weekend. I'm just sort of watching and observing. But I'd like to just make a point about the pubs. And, you know, I may have covered previously in this pandemic about how this pandemic will bring out good leaders and bad leaders. And I just want to talk about an article about the pub boss of Marston's. Chap's name in here. This is in the. It's an article in the Sun at the moment. It has been covered elsewhere on the 27th of June, where he says, Ralph Findlay says, he won't make his staff wear face masks. I think that's a very bad decision and a bit irresponsible on his part, because I noticed, Grant, when we visited a pub recently and we had those beers, the staff behind the counter weren't wearing face masks. And Darren's just mentioned about people coughing and sneezing into his food. Well, it's the same thing as coughing and sneezing into your drinks. So I actually think that is a bit irresponsible of a pub boss of a big pub chain called Marston's saying that he won't make his staff wear face masks. Apologies if this story is incorrect. It is in the Sun, dated the 27th of June 2020. So I'm not making it up. It's in the Sun. And there's a picture of Ralph Findlay there. My advice to all pub operators and bars and restaurants is, and most restaurants have done this, particularly the people who've done takeaways, and I'll speak highly of James and William of Chung Ying in Birmingham, who've done a very good takeaway service and delivery service, and all of their staff wear masks and gloves, and that is the way it should be. They should be wearing gloves anyway as part of food hygiene standards anyway. But masks are just another addition. It's not a big deal. As you know, I was a visitor during the SARS pandemic in 2003 in Asia, and it was face masks that helped eradicate that. Face masks will give protection. Face masks will stop the spread. And the biggest thing that they stop is from the people who may have COVID, either with symptoms or without symptoms. The face mask stop the spread. It's as simple as that. Now, what we've got here, and I'll just slightly digress about the spread. A cruise ship in Australia had 217 people on board, and the Australian authorities tested every single person on board. 127 tested positive. They were amazed to find that only 25% had symptoms or even developed symptoms. So that means, you know, a large number of those, 75%, never had any symptoms whatsoever. But they could spread the virus, they found. And for a shorter period than the infected people, the symptomatic people, they could spread the virus for, in some cases, up to 9 days and never, ever have a symptom. So that's why we wear masks. And any bosses or leaders out there that aren't saying to their people wear masks when they're serving the public is totally irresponsible, in my opinion. So, Ralph, if you're listening, or anybody knows him, tell your staff to wear masks. It's irresponsible and it protects people. And guess what? More importantly, it'll get people like me, like Darren, who are concerned. It'll give us more confidence to come into your pubs and actually buy your beers, eat your food when we see the hygiene standards. It's not a case of being, stubborn or stoic or bloody minded. Excuse my language there. The fact is, masks stop the spread. Fact. And had the government done
Sorry,
it
on a note, I'm just keen on a certain note about pubs. And again, I've got friends who are publicans and landlords, so I'm really keen to support them.
We have as well.
And it is really difficult. It's a double-edged sword. And of course, if you're shielding like I am, then I'm probably on the overcautious side. But one thing that comes to my mind is that they're going to serve you via table service. Again, great. And I like some things they're putting in place. Face masks, I agree. Gloves, I'm not so keen on because I think people will use it as an excuse not to constantly wash their hands and think they're safe. That's not my. I'm a butcher, so I never really understood gloves. Full stop. People should be constantly washing hands. But someone comes to your table with a glass. I've just emptied out my pen pot with a glass. Okay, and they're going to hand this glass onto your table. And where are my fingers? My fingers
around the rim.
That glass. How do they get around that? I know we've seen some funny things. But
to be honest, Darren, they are if they're correctly trained, which is doubtful in a lot of pubs that are around. You're not supposed to hold the glass at the top anyway. We've always been trained in the trade to hold it around the base of the glass or midway, never around the rim, because that's obviously where you're going to drink. And that's before the pandemic. This is talking years ago.
Regardless, if you hold it there, that person's still going to pick it up from there, and you both basically
I understand that.
So, but you're right. But also that person that you're talking about, let's face it, is most likely on minimum wage, and
sure,
are they going to do that every time? I'm not undermining the capability of every pub person, but I just think that piece, handover, how does that work? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I have been operating a situation myself whereby I've been using this. This is a foam sanitizer.
Thought he was going to get the straw out then.
Yeah, no, not get the straw out yet, Matt. Where I actually put that on when I've been given bottles, and I've put some of this around the rim of the bottle when I've been drinking out of the bottle. I've been conscious, obviously, that there has been a transference possibly by the bottle being handed to me. But I've made sure I've either gelled my hands, ended the rim, and then I've washed or gelled my hands after I've finished drinking. And I've made sure that I haven't used those hands to touch my face, my eyes, my nose, or my mouth. Hard to do. Hell of a discipline. And the more drink you have, the less.
The worse it's going to get.
Yep. And so it is a problem. And bringing on to that point, look what has happened in California. They opened the bars and the restaurants, and they've had a massive spike in cases, phenomenal numbers in America, and they've had to close them all again. So, that's why I'm very cautious. It's a question of.
Andy, they haven't closed them all again. They've only closed. They're closing at 10 o'clock at night. We did this yesterday. Actually, we did about it. What that's going to do, I do not know. I mean, it's just insane. So just going back to the how to order drinks and food, and now this is why I wanted to make sure I was on laptop. I could have stopped on my phone, but I want Grant to give a demo of the app that is built for. Is a Lovely Pubs using this, Grant, or was it just lots of pubs?
No, this is a generic one. So what this is the demo one that I want to show you.
Right. Okay.
Just because this is an example of what a lot of pubs will be using, if not our version, a similar version. So if we look here, we've been doing loads of takeout apps for pubs and restaurants whilst they've been shut. But obviously, in response to what the government said a couple of weeks ago, and obviously this is all over the world, by the way, as well. One of the things in my business is that because we work with so many different countries, you get to realise that we're all in the same boat. We're all faced with similar challenges. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, and we've done these for Australia, Canada, the States, you name it. It's all over the place. South Africa. So. Right, so do you know what I was doing then? I was clicking on the screen of the actual
screen.
Rather than I was going, this is not working. This could be embarrassing.
Go on, this is your job, mate. Come on, don't let us down.
So here we go. So what you do, you go into the pub. Usually on the pub, the table, there'll be this QR code, and the QR code allows you to download the app, or you can just do it from a link. So you can have a link sent to the app. You click on the table. This is an example of a pub with a lot of tables. So you basically go through to the table that you're on. You choose your table, and then you're straight into ordering. And the thing that we found that's so powerful about this style of app is the simplicity of it. It's just really simple. So you keep it dead simple, because what we're finding is that, everybody's going to be using this. People that aren't used to using apps. So it's not just the early adopters. It's everybody has to use it. So keeping it simple is absolutely key. So I'm going to order Rogan Josh, which is going to make me very hungry. And I'm going to have a file as well. And yeah, do you know what? I think we're good. Anything else? Anybody want anything else while I'm on it?
Is it Joe Fazy there?
Rogan Josh, Dan Sack, Tikka Masala. I tell you what, let's do Rogan Josh, Matt. That's pretty similar. So then we go to our cart.
Is it?
And there we go. There's all the order. You then go to the checkout, and that's where you sign up to put in your details, and they actually pay for it there and then. So they don't even have to use contactless or cash. They pay for it through the app as well.
Oh, that's
so
good.
the whole thing is, that's the account setup, is a contactless transaction.
Sorry, Grant, can you do it by PayPal, or do you have to set up the account? You can.
Yeah. PayPal, Stripe. There's a few other different methods, or you could just select contactless, and they could bring the contactless card payment thing over. But yeah, we're doing loads of these. They're really simple, and it just means that we've got an opportunity to help pubs, and we knock these out 99 quid a month, no upfront fee. So it means we can do it with volume, and pubs are able to trade again. But you'll see loads of variations on this. So not all of my customers have gone for this, because some of my customers have had apps built through their EPOS system, their till system. And it has been a bit of a challenge for quite a number of pubs. I know that, and they do get charged an awful lot of money, certainly a lot more than we charge them. But this is what we'll get used to. Now, the thing that kind of taking a positive spin on this is what you realize is that when you actually get used to using this kind of technology, it's actually much more efficient. It's much quicker. You literally get into the pub, you say your table, you order your drinks, and your drinks arrive. And if you think of the logistics of it, I mean, Matt, you've owned pubs.
Yeah.
You imagine you've got your bar staff, and they're trying to, on a Saturday night, you've got people 3 deep at the bar trying to get the bar staff's attention. The bar staff have got to lean over, listen to the order, take the order, go backwards and forwards to the till, all of that. With this, you can have a member of staff that just gets the order come through, does the drinks, and then either puts them on the bar and shouts table number 5, or depending on what the logistics of the pub are, or somebody goes and delivers them to the table. It's actually more efficient. The pub can actually do more trade this way as well, because it actually takes time taking orders and dealing with people stacked at the bar. So there are pros and cons to this, and I think that this is going to be here to stay. I think people will start to realise that this is actually, an efficient way of doing things, particularly in restaurants.
Sorry, don't Witherspoons already do this, or do?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
they did it before COVID, didn't they?
Has anybody used that?
Yeah,
app?
I have. Yeah,
Have you?
I haven't, but I've been out with people who have used it whilst I've been drinking with them. So yeah, it's
great.
good.
So you don't have to have the hassle. Once you find your table, you haven't got the hassle of going up to the bar, waiting to grab their attention. You've left your mates at the table, so you're not chatting. You're missing out. And if you're just drinking, whoever's round it has to leave the table and leave you to it. And then you've got to try and think, can somebody give me a hand with the drinks? Get a tray. And you don't have any of that. The drinks just arrive. It's the way a lot of businesses actually already operate.
It's great, because when on a busy pub, you could be away for 20 minutes, couldn't you? 15-20 minutes to get the drinks in if it's a busy pub. So that, again, it's an improvement that's probably just been brought forward.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places that do it overseas. Actually, if you go to Canada and the States, there's a lot. They use iPads and whatnot. It's not new. The technology's been there for a while. It's just that now that people are having to use it,
Yeah.
it's basically accelerated everybody into the future. That they would have got there eventually.
And Grant, ask a question. What's the typical cost of one of these apps, just in case any viewers?
99 quid a month.
99 quid a month. And you build them an app and everything else that needs to do with it and support it. Very good.
No upfront fee, no design fee. We
No
just want to get people out there. Nothing. 99 quid a month. Cancel any time.
Brilliant. And you put their logos on and everything like that, do you? Or
Yeah, be completely bespoke app. Yeah.
Is it fantastic? Very good. Very
it's excellent.
That can do table service, takeout food, and I assume delivery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very
So you can that would be the takeout menu.
I mean, you know, people are paying thousands upon thousands or tens of thousands for an app.
Yeah. We can build a loyalty scheme in there. We can do stamp cards, rewards.
Yeah, very good.
You can have alternative menus. Yeah, we're smashing these things out at the moment. That it's the way forward.
Very good.
No, it's excellent. That's really good. I mean, it's got to, as we say, it's brought things forward faster. The only concern, I was speaking to somebody, with the person with Grant and Andy now, is Mark. Obviously he was delivering yesterday from Seal Hill Brewery to the pubs that are opening up this weekend. And even the pubs are saying, why the hell are they doing it this Saturday? Why don't they just do it on Monday? Because I think it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be insane on Saturday, isn't it? It's at the restaurants. I mean, maybe not so restaurants, but I think the pubs, everybody's going to go out there. They're all going to get plastered. They're going to be falling over, you know, and especially if you've got a drink fast. I mean, that was the original idea that we extended the opening hours decades ago to slow us British down from drinking faster when it was drinking up time at 10:30. You know, remember that they used to ring the bell at 10:30. You got half an hour, and people just cramming the pints in, and that was, they said at the time, was causing all the problems. We're going to get that tenfold now because you've only got an hour and a half, 2 hours maximum to drink.
They're just going to have to adapt, aren't they? I mean, what the government have done, as they've done the whole way along, is they've put in some, you know, broad guidelines and then left people to it, just like they did with schools and everything else. And the truth is, the way I look at this, you know, we've talked a lot about, you know, where they hold the glass, or the, you know, the risks, what's happening in California, etc., etc. And a bit like Darren said earlier, the truth is, if you're worried about any of this, don't go to the pub. You know, if you think you need to protect somebody, or you're worried, don't go to the pub. You know, because the truth is, it doesn't matter how, or to a restaurant, no matter how vigilant somebody's going to be, there's still the ability to transfer the virus if you go out into the world. Now, the reason they're opening the pubs and restaurants is because we've got to do some business. We've got to get the economy going. We haven't got a choice. But this virus is still out there. It's still dangerous to, you know, a percentage of the community. But as Andy just said, most people are going to get it and not even know they've had it. And we're effectively, you know, stopping those people from going out and having a nice time and spending money and helping these pubs and restaurants trade. So as far as I'm concerned, it's simple. If you're worried about catching the virus, stay at home. If you've got a different opinion, go out and spend your money. Let's get the economy going.
No, do you think
that's true?
Do you think that my worry is, and certainly if I look at the pubs in Bude, so for instance, we've got one called the Preston Gate, great pub. It's a live music pub. So again, no live music is allowed. Drop Grant off.
He's just disappeared.
Okay.
Okay, keep talking now. You'll come back in. Where did he go?
But yeah, so there's no live music allowed. The pub is a small pub. So one of the draws for this pub was live music. It's a very small pub, so the ability to have many people inside is very limited. It's the typical pub where...
My fault. Sorry. Darren, can I just pause you? I was trying to close his share screen down, and it just kicked Grant off completely. So sorry about that.
I gathered that, mate.
You upset him, Grant. You upset him.
Carry on, Darren.
Power.
I was just all the pubs down here. So if I look at the pubs, Bar 35 is a reasonably biggish pub, but again, limited seating area. In fact, they're not known for much seating, to be honest. It gets that packed that it's all about standing up. You go there of a Saturday. That particular pub earns all of its money Friday and Saturday. The rest of the week, it probably pays its rent. And then the Friday and Saturday, that's when it makes its profit, when it's absolutely rammed with a live band on. And then you've got the smaller pubs. I just wonder, and it's particularly this Preston Gate pub, and Paul's a great guy. He does a great job of running the pub. But I do wonder how on earth he's going to make a profit. And I was watching something about, and you'll know more about this, Matt, than I do, but I was watching something about the profitability of beer. And don't get me wrong, down here the prices are high. He's got to get.
That wasn't me.
So do you think they're going to be profitable? Do you think they'll have footfall? So therefore, and also because all the other stuff has ended, the furloughing and whatever else, actually this is the end of our pubs because they'll try it, get into debt, and
this will be the start of everything, get the downfall of everything now, because we've seen it with the pub, with the shops and the retail shops and the manufacturing and all, and everything's wobbling because the government have sort of put a blanket over everything at the moment with the protection with the money that's coming in. But as everything reopens, it's all going to fall over because now a pub, and Andy will back me up on this, a pub just doesn't make enough money to cover its, or as I say, wipe its arse, because they don't. I mean, they're boozers basically. A lot of these pubs that are going to be reopening, they do a bit of food, and that's where the money maker is. The food, the profit's there. Beer, there's not enough money on it. It's just not. And every pub is wobbly all the time without this pandemic. And now you're going to cut the footfall coming into it and spread it out. So, no, not going to happen. Guarantee, months' time, probably a little bit longer, there'll be pubs shutting down everywhere, left, right, and centre. The only ones that will survive are the big chains because they've got money in the bank. The ones that are going to struggle are the independents or the ones that earn 2 or 3, and they're not, non-food based. The pubs that are around here that Grant knows as we've been to, they're very foodie places, so they'll survive because they make a lot of money on the food. But other than that, it doesn't matter how much you try and support them, they're going to fall over if you only can stop in there for an hour and a half. I mean, Monday nights, me and Andy, we'll stop there for 3 hours. We don't drink that much as such, but we'll chat and we'll talk to other people.
15 pints.
Yeah, about that 10. I mean, it's obviously Andy has his glass of wine with his soda water in there, which I think 27 of those are excessive anyway. But it's just it's not going to work. It's not going to work until we get back to normal or the vaccine. So it is difficult. Andy, have you still got that thing with your mask and your straw? Just you don't have to put it on. You can just.
I have, yeah.
Let's have a quick look at it. Show it up on screen for the people who didn't see it.
I have seen it on the top. They've put the end up a bottle top, and they've got the screw on this here, and they've put.
Oh yeah. That's a joke, but this is actually serious, right? This is a.
Wait a minute. Did you say this is serious?
It's serious, yeah.
Okay.
Serious, right? This will give you protection. Okay, you may look a bit silly, or you may be embarrassed, but as I said to somebody, do you want to be embarrassed or dead? Because that's how bad the virus can be for the unlucky, right? Yep. So, and let's not forget, 42,000, 43,000 people have actually lost their lives. That mask, I've just inserted a straw. You can take it. All you need to do is maybe put a bit of sealant on the inside, like the household bathroom and kitchen sealant, if you're concerned, but that's negligible. There's no such thing as 100% protection anyway, but that will protect you from droplets. Yeah, that will protect you from droplets without any problem whatsoever. Like the biggest problem will be is your mates and friends saying, look at that idiot over there. A bit like when I first wore a mask to my local Sainsbury's, and a lady looked at me as if I was an alien. And I was actually the first person to visit that Sainsbury's with a mask on. That was in March, right?
1997.
Not quite.
You're going to drink Guinness through that, though, Andy. Is that? I can't imagine putting that straw into a pint of Guinness and drinking a pint of Guinness.
No, you never give a straw for that one. This is only a narrow one, slightly bigger one. But I have tested it and drunk drinks through it. Yeah, it's obviously not going to be the same as before the pre-pandemic, but it does work. And the fact of the matter is that is a mask. And the main thing is that the chances are like I said, there's no such thing as 100% protection anyway. But that will stop droplets from coughs and sneezes and any aerosol, what they call aerosol contamination in the air. That will protect you to a certain extent. It won't give you 100%, nothing will. And if you want to go all the way, your problem is people say going through the eyes. Again, that is also a problem. So if you're that worried, unfortunately, you can't go to a pub. That's the problem, right? That is a very simple, cost-effective answer. Should be available at all pubs and bars, right?
And you can get it at www.andymore.com.
You can just buy a mask, and insert a straw yourself. Even without a sealant on that little part there, you will get
better. I understand. But there is somebody on the... so I'm looking at it now. There is somebody on the internet who's took this a step further.
Yes.
Which he's when you're eating. There you go. You just pull up that flap and you can eat without it. I don't know if he does it again. Does he do it again? Yeah, there you go. So it's someone. Oh, he's having a drink as well. Look, he's drinking wine.
The answer is the innovation is there. I mean, it's all about degrees of protection. I go to my local supermarket on a regular basis, and I see people who come in. They don't observe the social distancing. I'm standing there. Next thing you know, there's somebody standing next to me without any mask on, anything whatsoever. I've got a mask on, they're there because they're just totally oblivious. A bit like that what I was talking about earlier. Some people are just, stubborn, so minded. There's people out there who will say this virus doesn't exist. Mental. This virus, a bit like the Holocaust never happened. Those type of people, right? Oh, I think this is nothing more than the flu. Okay. Well, look, try telling that to the families and friends of the 43,000 who are dead because of it. Don't talk nonsense. We don't have a lockdown.
They're all flat earthers that believe in the flat.
Yeah. I don't start that with Matt and Grant. The fact is, it's happened. We're in a global pandemic. Now, I was in the 2003 SARS pandemic, right? Nowhere near as bad as this, and it was localized to Asia, right? But people died, but they eradicated, and it started in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong, if you look at the figures, have a remarkably low death rate to coronavirus because they did exactly the same what they did when the SARS. SARS, obviously, they set the systems in place after SARS or during SARS. And that's what they've done. And that's why they've eradicated it in more or less in Hong Kong, because over in there in Asia, people wear masks. Here, nobody's been told to wear masks by the government. And even now, we've got this ridiculous situation from the government. Face coverings, wear face coverings. No, it's a mask. Let's wear a mask.
So they've not eradicated it, but they've got a very low numbers in Hong Kong. And then they've been 3 million of them have been invited over to the UK.
Yes.
The problem. No one will come.
No.
Well, I mean,
I will stay here and just deal with the Chinese government. It's fine.
Yet again, with this government, it's another fiasco. 3 million been invited to come and live here. What's the plan then? How are we going to accommodate 3 million people?
Well, you know the plans, Andy, because you sent me the plan on the economic reopening. That was the plan.
I think we're going to open another Telford and build another city. I think.
Yeah. That's a government plan. It's a bit like I was just actually saying before the show started to somebody on email. Apart from Boris going, let's get Brexit done. Right, okay, where's the plan? There is no plan. There actually is no plan. There's nothing anywhere about the government's overall plan for Brexit.
Okay, that's it. We're not going to Brexit. We're not doing Brexit today.
What am I making the
what's Brexit?
Kick you off. What did you say, Grant?
What's Brexit?
No idea.
Yeah, that was the good old days. That was the good old days. That was, Grant.
Yeah. So, we saw as I said, we saw Pandemic the movie, the Pandemic Fiasco movie. Now we're going to see the follow-up, the sequel, Brexit Fiasco 2.
Brilliant.
Anyway,
Great
what
place
did you
to
do
stop.
the weekend, Grant? You asked us all we're going the weekend. What pub are you frequenting? Because I know that you're going to hit a couple.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go to the vaults. I might try the owl rooms, see what they're like.
He's
But
going
no,
to go to the vaults, but he'll be at the front this time, though, not by the
There you
bins at the back. There you go.
I'll be there on Friday, not on Saturday. No, I've booked the family in to go to the Alora, our local Indian restaurant that I've been frequenting for decades. So yeah, we've got a table for 4 Saturday night. Can't wait.
Very good.
Yeah, can't wait. I've been in there already. I had a chat with the guy. They've got all their social distancing layout. They've had to get rid of quite a few tables to accommodate. But they're busy. They're full. They're fully booked Saturday night. So looking forward to it. Can't wait.
They're all saying about one-way systems, aren't they? Trying to create a one-way system. I don't know how that's possible in every place. Have they managed it there where you in one way and out of another?
Not really. I mean, the biggest challenge they've got is that people still come in for takeaways. Yeah. So up until now, they've been smashing it on takeaways. But what they've done is they've basically said you can only come in one person at a time to pick up a takeaway. So that should manage it, I think. Because they go around with a trolley with all the all the stuff on it. I think it would be difficult to organise a one-way system. Although you might be able to do it, but do you know what? They haven't been given any guidance, so they're just doing their best, and I'm guessing they're going to figure it out as they go along.
Of course not. There's been no guidance, has there? Okay, then, people. Darren, you said you were going to write some music for the show.
I did start it, but work got in the way. But I'll do an intro at some stage over the next couple of days. Where I'll do it.
Nice.
We missed the intro today, but we've got the credits with the music going. But that's stock iMovie audio free use. You know what? Facebook jumped on that yesterday and said, "Oh, this is copyrighted music." I went, "No, it isn't." And Warner Brothers said, "We own that." Then 2 hours later, sent me another email to say, "No, we don't own that. Ignore that." I mean, what? Jesus Christ. Anyway, doesn't matter.
They're hot on it, aren't they?
They are bloody are.
Maybe they just do it for any music, and then they just wait and see.
They do. Exactly what they do. Well, we'll see you all tomorrow. Darren, if you can get on tomorrow, we're going to try and experiment with this software, because the other upgrade, other than doing it on your phone, is that we can get 10 people on at the same time.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. So I'm sending links out to everybody tomorrow. It'll be a free-for-all. It's Fridays. It's fine. The pubs are going to be opening on Saturday. It'll be great. So Darren, Andy, Grant, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Cheers, guys.
Good luck.